Hello YouTubers, and thank you for joining me on my channel, Leanne Masray on YouTube. I'm walking today in the afternoon, which is a big change for me since I'm much more of a morning walker. And it's much hotter in the afternoon. There's another guy, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, apparently they just whip down these residential streets at about 45 miles an hour just for the privilege of getting to the stop sign. It's always fascinating to me how much we're rushing around and how reliant we are on our cars to get us everywhere. I think one of the coolest things that's happening right now with the advent of working from home and internet businesses is that people don't have to get in their cars so much. That mindless commute, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour and a half for some people, in a car, all by yourself on a freeway, is something that I spent years doing in Florida, in California, Hawaii, mostly in California, because there's not a lot of public transportation there. And being a child who grew up watching the OPEC oil embargo of 1973, and now watching, some of the demonstrations out at about the pipeline that's going through, it's really bringing back into the forefront of my mind our reliance on non-renewable energy sources and fossil fuels. And a lot of it stems from our lifestyles, the things that we've elected to do on a daily basis, or almost daily, as a matter of routine, such as commute and not carpool and not take mass transportation, even when it is available. As a kid, I had a bike, or I walked, or I took the bus. But as an adult, I got my first car, I think I was 22 or something like that. Up until that time, I was going to college and I didn't really need a car. So I didn't have one, didn't need one. But once I got one, boy, it's like I went everywhere in my car. To grocery stores, to friend's house. We'd all three drive separately, or all five drive separately to meet at one place, instead of maybe one person driving and picking up the others and then everybody getting dropped off. When we're going longer distances, we do that, but when it's just a neighborhood thing, or it's just around the corner, or it's just something close by, we don't do it so much. But that doesn't negate how much we drive and how much time we spend in our cars. And how much time we spend sitting, how much time we spend at our desks, and how much energy we use as a nation. I'm walking right now underneath the power lines, the high tension lines, whatever they call them. And they're buzzing right now. And I always wonder, so many people talk about, oh, that's so bad for you, and don't put your cell phone by your face. And I don't know how much I believe all that, because to me, we're all energy in various forms. We're atoms and electrons and neutrinos and microns and smaller particles, and I don't know. I'm not a physicist, not an electrical engineer, not a biologist, not even a scientist. I'm just a human being. And I care about my health, I care about this earth, but I also think this earth and the laws of nature are so much bigger than all of us. And that the earth will take care of itself, even though we're trying our best to, pollute it and deplete it and all kinds of things that we do. This isn't a topic that I usually talk about. I normally talk more about the quality of life, talk about practical matters, I talk about making money from home, I talk about online businesses, I talk about internet marketing. It's a lot more practical. Occasionally I'll veer off into a spiritual topic, or in this case, our habits, what we do. The reason I talk to you about those other topics is because I just want to raise your awareness as a human being, your awareness as a citizen of this earth. I don't have a political platform that I'm standing on. I don't have a cause that I'm promoting, other than self-awareness. And a lot of the things that people do protest against come from habits and mindless things that we do, that we think we have to have, that we think of as critical for our survival, you know. But sometimes I just ask you to rethink what's really critical. You know, if your answer isn't love or family or something like that, you know, well then what does matter to you? Is money your God? I mean, money's cool. I like money. I'd rather have it than not have it. Gives me freedom, lets me do things that I want to do. You know, but there's a point at which you have enough money to do pretty much anything that you want. And anything more than that is just, it's more than you need to survive. After that, you're just kind of trying to get it for whatever reason, so you can experience a new way of life, different from, you know, the one before. Or maybe you want to use it to help people. Maybe you want to buy your mom a house. Or maybe you want to help somebody in need. And you have it, so you give it. I think that's kind of cool. Where's this going? I just started out talking about, you know, our habits, our mindless habits, the driving that we do all over the place, the way we leave our water on when we brush our teeth. I mean, we take simple things like clean water so for granted in this country. You know, we have a water system where we actually deposit our own human waste into our drinking water. And then we spend energy to send that water to a plant somewhere, and some more energy at the plant to clean that water, and all kinds of chemicals and processes and filters and things that we use to clean that water, which we then pump back into our house and we then consume. You know, I mean, I get it, without a sewer system, I mean, what are we all going to do? We're just going to go in our backyards, dig a hole, and take a crap? You know, what do we do with all our urine? I mean, our backyards would be pretty stinky. But, I mean, people survive for a long time with gray water cesspools and outhouses. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, it's kind of like downsizing, you know. Does one size have to fit all for the masses? And people who do want to have an outhouse on their property are being told they can't have one, you know. That's regulated. That's a health safety issue. That's it's a violation of health codes. You can't have chickens, you can't have goats. I mean, I get it when, you know, your animals or whatever are stinky or loud and they're interfering with your neighbor who, for some unbeknownst reason, is, you know, decided to move in 12 feet from your bedroom window. I mean, when did we all decide to live so close together? That still remains a mystery to me. If we're going to have private homes, you know, let's spread out a little bit so we're not on top of each other. Or let's all move in together in a cave, in a tribe. Work together, you know, like a kibbutz or a commune. I mean, it's one way or the other, right? This sort of in between where we're all just sort of 10, 20 feet away from each other, fighting over invisible lines between our properties and stuff. And who's supposed to fix the fence post that's falling down, and, you know, just kind of ridiculous stuff that we fight about nowadays. Well, why can't we all just get along? Why can't we just be peaceful? Sometimes these are questions that I don't have any answers to. But I know that my world, my real world, is pretty small. It's more or less limited to the people that I interact with every day, the people that I love, the things that I do that give me joy. That's kind of what my world is all about. And there's great big causes out there, and it's a great big world out there. I think the world is going to take care of itself. I really hope, as a species, we don't annihilate ourselves, you know, before an asteroid hits us and breaks this world apart. It would be nice to live in an age where all people are free and there's enough money and food to go around, and you can still pursue your industry and your commercial interests without having to subjugate and dominate. And we don't turn our businesses into like the modern battlefield. When our divorce courts are the modern battlefield, where let's just destroy our ex-partner. And maybe we live in a world where exes don't occur so often. People aren't so unhappy with one another, and they don't have such unrealistic expectations of one another. And it's a more forgiving place. And I don't know how it all works. I don't have all the answers. I just know that I have a desire for peaceful, self-sustaining people in my world. I want loving souls, kind energy around me. I want productive people who have enough for themselves and maybe even a little extra. Maybe even a lot extra. I'm down with that. So, on that note, this is kind of a rambling video, but this is what came out today. And I'll leave you with that thought. Leanne Mazaret on YouTube, signing out. Ciao for now. Skylar, pulling me.